Cole, he's my miracle child.
Running late? With Braun, you can still look legendary.
Braun. 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 Braun.
Braun Series 9 Pro Plus.
Braun.
You take one stroke, Braun takes 5.
Braun.
Cutting it close has never felt so comfortable. Even on a 7-day beard. Braun, better by design.
This is Benjamin the Bear, one of the Primrose friends. Whenever Benjamin is getting ready to go outside, he always checks the weather to make sure he's wearing the right clothes. When it's hot and sunny, he wears a pair of shorts, a short-sleeve shirt, and sunglasses. Don't forget the sunscreen. If it's windy outside, he puts on his jacket and scarf. Uh-oh, it's starting to rain. Benjamin needs his raincoat, rain boots, and an umbrella. It's snowing. It's so pretty. He needs his snow hat, a warm coat, and mittens. Huh? It's raining cats and dogs. Should he use his umbrella? Oh, it's windy again. And there are bubbles everywhere. Benjamin likes to pop, pop, pop the bubbles. What in the world? It's snowing cotton.
Chichipapaka chipelaka chipapaka chichipala paraku tada para tacha the pap para kachapapa poop 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 para para poop paka pachi fatapapa poop. You're not going to believe this, but I'm here and on time, and we're on the radio, so let's go right to it. I think the main thing is that the roads are bad, and it's very slick. Even pulling into the Purdue parking lot here, I was sliding all over the place. I'm Jim Dedelow. I'm the host of the morning show, and Verley Suggs will be joining us now. I hope Verley isn't one of the many people that are in ditches right now, and that has happened, but I have a feeling she'll show up with coffee pretty soon, and then we'll be able to get it going. But for now, I don't know if I'm on YouTube, so you could tell me. I just started the broadcast, but if you have any intelligence in that matter, let me know. So here's what I got from Goddard, okay? This is the text from Region News Source. So all you got to do is go to regionnewssource.com, or better yet, go to his Facebook page where he does a lot of the quick posting. In general, here's what he says. All right. The Illinois roads are worse than Indiana. Bishop Ford is a mess. In Indiana, around a dozen slide-offs, some minor crashes scattered all over the 65 and 94, but still better conditions than the commute to Chicago. All right, so let me look at the traffic. You know, I was looking at it all morning, kind of got up early, which is always dangerous, but it's 294 that I think had an earlier accident, and then now it's kind of cleaned itself up. And 80 going east and west out to Joliet is somehow not so bad, but there was an earlier accident, I don't know, maybe in the 4 a.m. area right near Torrance going towards Indiana. That still has some residual. You might see the jackknife semi that has been pushed off to the side. So that's still slowing some stuff up a little bit at Torrance going east. And but the Bishop Ford is bad. And I don't know if it's just slide offs or one big accident. Let me see if I can get a little bit better look for you here at me. And we will do that. And then you'll be able to see me. But it really doesn't matter since I don't know if I'm on YouTube. Life is just it's just computer generated is what life is anymore. Life is, as Mike Ditka used to say, now it'll just be life is whatever AI says it is. All right, there's me, and I'll get me for a little while. All right, here we go. All right, and what else? So we got the Bishop Ford that's bad, and then the Dan Ryan's bad about Skyway merge on the way in. All right, I am on YouTube, so hi, how are you? All right, on the Indiana side, we do have some people in ditches, but nothing huge. And so I guess the main thing to just stress today is that it's very cold and that it has had a little bit of that where, they'll put some snow down and then you put the snow down and then it melts for a little bit and then it's icy. So what do we have right now? It's 23 degrees, very cold with sun and clouds. There can still be slippery conditions for the morning commute following a little bit of overnight snow. Now, that's for today. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly, low clouds, a little afternoon snow tomorrow, accumulating a coating to an inch. Watch for slippery conditions again tomorrow. And then by Thursday, the high is only 15 degrees, mostly sunny and very cold. And so it's kind of what happens. It snows a little bit, or we had a decent amount over Thanksgiving weekend. A little bit last night, a little bit of a dusting. I don't know about you guys, but if you shovel the walks and try to make it nice for the male person, and then all of a sudden you get these like 1 and 2 inch snows, they're a little bit of a hassle and kind of just an aggravating situation. And that I took the garbage out this morning and got my little dress shoes on for work here. And that wasn't a good mixture because there was a decent amount of snow coming over your feet. So there can be slippery conditions, but I think the snow for most part, let me make sure of this and look at the radar and so forth. But I think that might have just kind of been an overnight thing. Yeah, so hourly, some sun should be coming up. We should have a sunrise, believe it or not. You should be able to see the moon tonight. But that'll change tomorrow as it'll get kind of cloudy, and there it is. So that's really the basic. I'm sorry, right now it is 19 degrees. My fault. I updated, and it was 19 degrees. As you have it getting all the way up to 24 in about an hour. And then it really kind of should just stay there and really come down from there. So there it is. In terms of traffic, moving along pretty well. When does it warm up to the highest point? All right, it warms up to its highest point right about noon, and then it starts to drop off and really get, kind of drop off pretty cold for tomorrow, and then certainly Thursday will be your bad day. All right, let's get it started with me paying some bills, and then I'll come back and we'll play some news and that kind of thing. So stay where you're at, and let me see if I can get into the system here. We're only here for another 3 weeks, I think, and then we're moving back to our old area down there, and we're kind of fixing it up. And you should never have you shouldn't say never, but you shouldn't have interruptions. We're very internet dependent these days, and it's one of the things I want to get back off of. So I'm going to hum just a little bit. Mama's got a squeeze box she wears on her chest, and when Daddy comes home, he never gets no rest, 'cause they're playing all night, and the music's all right. Mama's got a squeeze box, Daddy never sleeps at night. No, 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 no. He says, squeeze me. He says, squeeze me. Come on and squeeze like you do. I'm so in love with you. Loco Pokinifipa.
Pum, 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 bum, bum, bum,
Ping,
bum, 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 bum.
ping,
Hey, this won't happen anymore in a few little whiles. You just not have it anymore. Where's Burley? We could use some coffee. Please tell me Burley brought me some coffee. Let's just hope. Let's sit there and think I smell it. And there it is, baby. Oh, gosh. I wait on Tuesdays and it's worth the wait. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant, O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and adore him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. 294 is okay moving, and so is 80 going east and west. Now, we had a big accident, and from what I understand, the semi's still there. That is eastbound, kind of how they call it, I think, the Kingery right there, but it's 80, 94 between the split to the Dan Ryan and the state line. And coming back to Indiana, it's backed up there. And then the Bishop Ford, pretty much from the moment you get on it, is slow, and then it comes to a screeching halt off and on top of the steel bridge, which is never good. You're like, look down there. There's a little river. What if I just slid? No, don't think about it. Lishkafi mono, lishkafi pinama. All right, so you have that. And then the Dan Ryan's no picnic either, so it's pretty slippery out there. And I will read once again, just so you know, please, for updated stuff on roads and just it seems like every child molestation and every arrest in the region, go to Paul Goddard's Region News Source page on Facebook, and you can follow what's going on. And I have been developing an AI-based thing that will hopefully, anyways, when I bring it out. So here's what he says. The Illinois roads are worse than Indiana. Hard to believe, but the Bishop Ford is a mess. In Indiana, there's been around a dozen slide-offs and some minor crashes scattered all over 65 and 94, but still better conditions than the commute to Chicago for whatever reason. Okay, so I saw that the Indianapolis public schools were on a 2-hour delay. I don't really see any in my email, in my inbox. Let me check it again. So they're supposed to email me if there's some sort of delay. Yes, all Gary schools will operate on a 2-hour delay. Oh my gosh, I got a whole bunch of them. Sorry, so let me go and get a few more of these delays. Loshko Fomene Maranaranyana. Tri Creek School Corporation is on a 2-hour delay, and Gary schools are on a 2-hour delay. That's all I got in my email. So you tell me, if there's others, I will go look at, let's see. I'll just look at a couple of websites and just to make sure. But I am only got Gary and Tri Creek, which is Lowell. So if you got any more, you let me know. First, we have to say hi to somebody who has brought me a coffee and made life okay again. Hi, Verly.
Good morning, Jim.
How is that all you got? I'm trying to adjust.
Well, I'm just getting ready to tell you, getting your coffee was a little difficult this morning.
Is that why you were a little bit tardy?
Yes.
You didn't have to. You could just text.
No, if there was a plow stuck in the drive-through line. He could not. It was a pickup truck with a plow, and he could not get around the circle. I don't know if his job was plowing the drive-through or if he was just someone trying to get coffee. But he kept backing up, trying to go forward. Had this huge plow on the front of his truck. And so eventually I'm like, after he's backed up about 5 or 6 times, I'm getting out of this drive-through and going inside, which I did, and people behind me started doing the same. And when I came out of Dunkin' Donuts, everyone else had backed up out so that the plow truck driver could back up out of the drive-through line. So then not only that, but then you have to get out on Indianapolis Boulevard where semis think that the middle lane is a parking lane. So you have to make sure that you avoid traffic coming in the opposite direction because you can't see around the semi. So, yeah, so it was a little harrowing. And then, of course, 8094 slowed down right around Klein because the salt trucks were out, so it slowed down traffic, and it was slick out there. So, yeah, for my non-paid position here at WJOB, I put myself through it this morning.
You know, I think that we need to highlight the first part of that, in that you are, donating your time here, and I just wish that you would just follow it, and you could just go on a computer, and I'll give you a little camera and a microphone, and it'll sound. You don't realize all these podcasters, they're never in the same room anymore.
I'm a traditional radio personality. And I don't say personality to make me sound like anybody special, but my whole thing in radio was the traditional way. And even when Theo McClendon put us on cameras, I still would always say, put the camera on Natalie or put the camera on whoever my co-host was at the time. I didn't even really want to be on the camera. So, no, I like being in studio because, I could talk. I'm not even a person who likes to talk on the phone a long time to people. So I definitely don't want to just sit at home behind a mic and talk. No, I'd rather be in studio interacting with you or Michelle or Adriana and the callers. That's me.
I have actually two deaths, and I want to talk about one at a time, I guess. Steve Robleski passed away last night, guys. I'm sorry to tell anybody that went to Munster or Griffith or whatever, played football. Probably one of the biggest characters ever in the entire football world. I can't imagine that I'm walking around here without John Friend and Steve Robleski walking around in the world too. So, Robe, cheers to you and your family. I know is grieving right now. But it was a good ride, and if you think I'm irreverent about how things go, that guy said, rules are for other people, and he said the most politically incorrect jokes at times, but he came from a different era and never really changed, and we will all certainly miss him. Verley, let's move on. We got plenty to hit today, okay? But I got callers already, so I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. Hey, you're on the air. How are you this morning?
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer coming home from my house on Christmas Eve. Good morning, Jed. Safety seat calling from. Hate to say it. Nice and warm, dry roads, and the weather is beautiful.
I think you like to do that just to rub it in to about 7 or 8 other firemen that are listening right now.
Oh, you have to. You know what? You're 100% right, Jed. As soon as I hear how bad the weather is there, I'm sitting in the pool. Got to go on Facebook Live or post all my golfing pictures. And now remember, as the weather gets a little bit chillier, my door is always open for you and Lexa. You guys come on back out. And the great thing is the dog that bit her, he has no more teeth, so tell her she's safe.
Thank you for that. Steve, I don't normally do this, but I got this little thing that gives me a little ding on motorcycles. I still want to get one. My wife's just like, you can have one, but you're going to have to move out. But I saw there was like 2 motorcyclists who got into it on a road, and one shot the other one dead in a dispute.
I was going to tell you about that story, Jed, about road rage in Arizona. It's crazy. You're absolutely right. In Phoenix, Maryville area between where I live and Phoenix, 2 guys are on a motorcycle. Guy gets in an argument. He pulls a gun out and he shoots somebody. And here comes this car behind him. I don't know if he was a friend of the other guys. And he hits this guy. Road rage out here, Jed, it's insane. And, I was thinking about that coming out. I got to tell Jed about, you talk about traffic problems, but people with road rage out here, this is not the first incident, and it's definitely not going to be the last one. And I don't know what is in people's minds that, and the ruling they have on motorcycles, these guys zip in and out of traffic. You could be driving almost mirror to mirror and a motorcycle come flying between you. But it's just, I don't know where this rage comes from. And it's all the time. Somebody's shooting at a driver driving by. What happened to days? Let's just drive down the road and just look straight ahead. Forget about what's going around you.
You know, the reason this one kind of stuck out is that, from what I understand, two dudes get up to a stoplight, start arguing, and like you said, one shoots the other one dead. Okay? And then some dude, like, I don't know if he's a good Samaritan or what, but was behind him and then just runs over the shooter and kills him. And then here's what I didn't understand. They asked him a few questions on the scene and then released him. And, I mean, the whole thing is what you're saying. It's just like you have road rage and kind of insecurity on the roads all the way around. Now, we don't get it as much right now, Steve, as you mentioned, in bad weather. Nobody's going to be riding a motorcycle, and all you really want to do is just get where you're going when it's this slick, and we have 6-7 months of that, right? But out there, everybody's driving around in a motorcycle and a tank top. I mean, these kind of things are more apt to happen at any time of year.
Right. And it's all year round. Now, I drive a motorcycle, but, I have it's called the Riker. It's a 3-wheeler, 2 wheels in the front, 1 in the back. And you know what? And my wife drives, but we are always on the defensive. We stay away from busy roads, busy highways. And you know what? We try to ride when it's not so crowded because, hey, let's face it, there's a lot of cuckoo birds out there. And you don't know if you look at somebody the wrong way, are they, let's just say let's get a little crazy. Let's say if I was to wear a Make American Great hat, which you see a lot of that way up in northern Arizona. But, you go through Phoenix and somebody's liable just to run you off the road just because of what you're wearing. It's insane. People aren't just, I don't know. I don't know what's happened to modern society. I don't know if we lost our morals or what had happened, but it's pretty sad that you got to be, you got to keep your doors locked when you're driving down the road. And I'll leave you with a safety tip that you ladies, when it's cold out, and men, when you're getting gas at a gas station, take the keys out of your car and lock both doors because somebody will climb in when you're not looking, that passenger side, and either grab your purse or take off. But golly, I tell you what, Jay, what a crazy world.
It is a crazy world. Steve, enjoy the sunshine today. We're going to hit a bunch of stuff, but we're going to be thinking about you walking around with that god-awful beard and playing golf and being warm. All right, man.
Hey,
I'll talk to you.
I got a little landing strip. I'll send you the picture on Facebook, and I'm going to send that song to you too, Jed. Have a great day, you and Bertie.
Yes,
care,
I want the song. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. He wrote a song that has really good words. I haven't heard the song yet.
So here's the thing. Steve can be sitting by his pool and enjoying the warmth of Arizona, but he doesn't have the view of snow-covered yards and Christmas lights and this winter wonderland. How can you ice skate when it's warm outside? The ice is melting. He's missing out on the beauty and the joy of the Midwest in the winter.
So have you ever spent a Christmas where it was warm?
Yes.
Yeah, same here. But when I was in California for school for 5 years, I had no money. So I spent, I think, maybe 2 Christmases out there and like 3 or 4 Thanksgivings. And I'll tell you right now, you think, oh, I miss all the sun and I miss my family and everything. I mean, you miss all the snow and family. No, not at all.
Well, that was you, Jim.
No, man, I was just like, I could do this forever. And I was going to do it forever, but I met Alexis in a bar on a Thursday night.
Send him a box of snow covered with dry ice.
Hey, you're on the air. How you doing?
Good morning, Jim and Burley.
Good
How
morning,
are you?
Mike.
Jim, there's an old saying, the way you sing, act, and everything when you start the station on your time. Please don't quit your daytime job.
How about this one? What'd you do with the money? What money? The money your mom gave you for singing lessons.
And Steve, Santa Claus is probably putting you on the naughty list for all of us wonderful people sitting here with snow on the ground, getting cold, bundling up, and he's telling how nice he's sitting by his pool. I bet you Santa Claus might put him on the naughty list for being rude to us.
Well, I think he enjoys it, yes.
Yes, but I have a relative who lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Every once in a while they get snow out there, but like it'll snow 1 or 2 hours, it's gone, But I asked him about Phoenix and Scottsdale. He says he believes they did have snow. But another good thing is I woke up this morning watching my Channel 7 or my local news TV. They show a nice red, brand new electric bus, all red with the IU logo on it. I wonder if somebody's husband had anything to do with the color of that new electric bus.
Well, he might not have had anything to do with the bus, but he will definitely be there this weekend cheering IU on.
Oh, you got tickets?
Oh, yeah,
Well,
he's got his tickets.
Are you going?
No, I wasn't invited.
And I got my red T-shirt, my red hat, and starting Thursday I'll wear it, and Saturday I'll sit in a nice warm house, watch the game. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Hey, Mike, I love hearing you. I got to get to the roadways, buddy. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon. All right. Just before Verley and I go talking about some other stuff, I just got to remind you that it's very slick out, and I'm getting some stuff coming in about more people going into ditches along the Borman, but it is not slowing up traffic, okay? Your big problem is the Bishop Ford and the Dan Ryan are very slick and very slow. Slow down on those roadways right now. And that's really the biggest problem. You also hit an earlier jackknife truck with a couple of cars coming eastbound on 8094. That was in the 4 o'clock in the morning area, so they've been able to push it off to the side, but you will see the semi there until maybe after rush hour. They'll come out and pick it up, that kind of thing. So please, everybody, remember that. Here we are on December 2nd of 2025. Verley, I want to hit this very directly.
Yes.
The Indiana redistricting, if you guys are following this story, President Trump wants Indiana to redistrict the congressional district so that they can get 2 more, I think it's 7 Republicans and 2 Democrats right now. And they were drawn by basically Republicans in 2021 as Jim Weezer went through the history of it on his podcast. And if you want to hear him, go to Weezer Podcast. I think it's Wieser, and just type in his name in Apple and Spotify, and you can listen to Weezer stuff. He'll be recording another one this week, and we'll address this again. But they came out with the map yesterday. Did you see the map?
Yes.
I don't know how to explain this, and I can't. It's radio mostly, so I don't even know if I could.
It's gerrymandering, without a doubt. It's dividing. It is so ridiculous. And the argument is so ridiculous. The reason for it, instead of these Republicans just admitting that they're bowing and kissing the ring of Donald Trump, they are trying to give you all kinds of reasons why. The census was incorrect and undocumented people were in it, and, all kinds of reasons why that are so false.
I don't know about that, Verley, but there is, I mentioned John Friend earlier, and I remember one time I was like, hey, what happened on that? The guy ran a flag and he let him catch the ball, and I'm like, well, coach, honestly, I got the lights in my eyes, I couldn't see the ball, blah blah blah, and he looked at me, he goes, what did he say? He's like, life is a yes or no situation. You either block the ball and they don't get the first down, or you don't. That's all that matters. There's no excuse, nothing. Yeah, there's no excuse. And my dad used to tell me that. It never got real until John Friend told me it, because I was rebellious. But this is that situation. I mean, I'm reading all of everybody's reasoning and stuff. This is a yes or no situation. You're either in or you're not. Yep. And I go back to Mitch Daniels, and if anything, I kind of followed his politics and agreed with much of it, some of it, not all of it, but at least I agree with the demeanor of his approach to politics and his demeanor in life. And that is just, hey, man, this is you don't have to follow everything. Even if you are a Republican and you're into like the MAGA situation, you do not have to follow the temporary occupant of the White House. And sometimes you just do something that is right because it's the right thing to do. And I got a feeling that this decision that is coming up for local Republicans can be a career-defining decision. Because really what you're doing, and there are some Republicans that are sensing this, that this Trump thing is going to wind itself out, and then traditional Republicanism is going to kind of come back, and then you're going to be like, well, am I the guy that was known as Trump's MAGA dude, or am I the kind of guy that just stepped away and said, hey, you know what, I'm going to make up my own mind? And this is that moment. And I think that Mitch Daniels put it out there. It's like, you guys have a choice here. And it is major drama, national drama that's playing out right here. Now, to describe this thing, it's the weirdest thing. You take Lake County, and then you go under Valpo and Portage, which have a ton of Democrats, and you go under Michigan City, and then you cut across the very south end of Porter County and south end of LaPorte County. You go across Marshall County, which is Lake Maxinkuckee and Culver Military and all that. That's like the midpoint. And then you just take a swath all the way to like southwest of Fort Wayne. If anybody's ever been to Wabash, Indiana, I played a baseball game with my stepson 30 years ago, and we went and had to drive there. You can't get there from here. There's no road. You got to go to 30. You got to come down the middle of the state. And I'm looking at that, and so I punched it in. How long would it take for me to get from Hammond to Wabash, Indiana, to like say, hey, it's a congressional thing or whatever. I got to cover something for Frank Mervan or Randy Niemeyer, whoever wins. And they're going to make an announcement. They're going to do it in their district in Wabash, Indiana. It would take 2 hours and 52 minutes to drive to the... So it's really just like a hot dog through underneath, and they make sure they don't get any South Bend. And then it just cuts right straight through the, especially around Culver, and I don't know if it has Plymouth or not.
Even with legs and wings, you wouldn't carve a turkey the way they're trying to carve up Indiana.
And then it gets even better because I was looking at it and then reading the analysis. It just came out yesterday. And so Mitch Daniels in his editorial said it's really just going after one district. That's Frank Mervan's district, because you can't really carve up Indianapolis.
Well, they're trying to do that too.
No. And he's right. You can't really carve up Indianapolis.
They're carving up Marion County.
Yes. Or you can't do it to get rid of Andre Carson. I think he's been there since maybe 2008. You can't do that, but you can do this. You can redraw Andre Carson's district and keep his house out of the district and put him in with some suburban weird district. Yep. So what he represents mostly, it's like, 2 blocks down, and that's where he'd have to move.
But the other part of it is that they're not even thinking about is they're also carving up the districts of the people who are already in office as well, because they're carving into their districts.
Well,
it's ridiculous. It is so blatantly Trumpism, so blatantly drinking that huge dose of Kool-Aid. It just to hear Republicans give their reasoning behind it, the need to do this, and then to say, oh, I reserve the right to change my mind. Well, their mind changes from the president. But what they don't even see is a future. And just like what happened recently with the last boat that they blew out of the water and then went back and killed survivors and now may face war crimes, they don't realize what the fallout will eventually be once Donald Trump is no longer in office. I'm definitely a Mitch Daniels supporter. I voted for him not the first time, but the second time I did. And he is trying to reason with people. Now, whether or not they take that to heart, whether or not all the protesters that went downstate yesterday, the buses that left Lake County and other places to protest against this, I mean, only about, 200 people? I wish there had been 2,000 people going to the State House. But most people of Indiana do not want this. And the people who
I think it's probably like 2/3. But
delusional.
I disagree with you on one thing.
What's that?
You know me, man. I just want to fight, and I just want people kind of disagreeing with each other and stuff. This is a moment, and this is a moment we will be looking back at. It's a defining drama. It's like, how are you? You know, it's like changing, like you're playing a game in Lafayette, and you're the team from Gary, and you're playing Plymouth for the semi-state championship. And Gary's winning by like 10 points. And so they go in and they change the rules. So, all right, well, you can't dunk now. And you just change the rules right in mid-game. And I think what's going to happen.
That's a sign of fear, Jim. When you feel that you're in the losing team, you try. If you're winning, you don't have a need to change the rules. But if you feel that the only way you can win is by cheating, then you will cheat. And that's exactly what the Republicans are trying to do. They're trying to cheat.
That's one way of looking at it, okay?
That's my way of looking at it.
At the other side, and I've brought this up to you before, is that if you're in charge, you get to make the rules.
But even if you're in charge and you do get to make the rules, you have to make fair rules.
Now you don't.
Because here's the thing about it. Being in charge, being a leader, it's important that the people follow you or work with you. They will work with and respect a true leader that has their best interests at heart. If they see you're a leader who is a dictator, who does not care about the people they represent, then you will not be a leader for long.
I understand that, but I'm not altogether sure. I think let's just look at this from the side of the Republican locally here. And I've got their names here, and I want to go through what each one of them has said or where they're looking at. But think about how difficult of a situation it is for them. Because you know that to get reelected or to be a politician as a Republican, you have to have this MAGA, like 30% of people, you got to get them. But you also have to look to the future, because you're right, Trump's not going to be here forever. And there's a growing Marjorie Taylor Greene, of all people, and Mitch Daniels and Massey. And there's a number of people that will pop off and say, hey, you know what, I'm not doing it. Especially this guy downstate. What's his name?
The one whose daughter has special needs. And
Bo Hotchkiss around here. I mean, these are Republicans. Yeah. And I've said that from the beginning. I'm like, listen, if you're like the Trump MAGA thing, you got to go for the knockout, man. You got to basically go all the way, because when it starts rolling the other way, there's one group that will change all of this, and that is traditional Republicans. If they turn and like, hey, man, we don't want any more of that, you will see the peel come on. I mean, there's Democrats that are out there, yay, I hate Trump and all that. I'm okay, and I understand what that is. But it's this slice of about 15% of people that kind of identify with Republicans, but are also like, man, how do you shoot a boat and then come back and shoot it again
Shoot the
and somehow
survivors.
legitimize it, and then at the same time let this other dude go that was a convicted drug trafficker? It makes that is almost indefensible. So you got to sit down and you got to figure out some elaborate way to explain it to yourself, because that 15% is like, and I'm not altogether sure where I'm at along the center line, but I certainly identify with that. I'm like, how do you explain that?
So
you
do we
can't
start giving
explain
the
it.
death penalty to any person who was dealing drugs that's in prison right now? I mean, they're changing the rules, and people are just allowing it to happen. And when I say people, I mean Congress and the Senate, because those are the ones that can stop it.
So when we come back, I will go through these local legislators, but I want everyone to think, what if you were that local Republican legislator? Because if you go against Trump, they will come after you. They'll redraw your district. They'll try to primary you. But if you go with Trump and then all of a sudden it kind of shifts, this is going to be shown. You're going to have to answer for this vote. That is going to happen in just a couple of days, I guess. I think it goes here and then goes to the Senate, right? So it might even be today that the Indiana representatives.
It is today, this morning.
Yeah, this morning.
8 o'clock.
And then it will go to the senators if it passes. But it could be if Indiana stands up this morning and says, no, we're not doing it, and votes, the Republicans, that little slice of independent Republicans say no, and they can't get it over the line. That's national news. That is saying no to Donald Trump and to all of his minions.
Unless there's that group that votes yes, because they know that there's senators who will vote no. So they're saving themselves.
I think what you're looking at, especially around here, is that it will be very hard for the local Republicans to have that yes on there. There's a lot of...
Well, they will be definitely hobnobbing with the governor this evening. So there are those local Republicans that will vote in favor of this because of Governor Braun.
Do you see how beautiful this drama is and how difficult
come on, think about
is?
this. And is he going to be giving charitable tickets away to those who probably can't afford the $10,000 ticket price, like Randy Niemeyer or Andy Cornell or Mahoney? All these Republicans, well, I mean, they probably have the money. Is it worth it for them to spend $10,000 just to be with the governor tonight, who may be a lame duck governor?
So let's put that in further focus. Governor Braun is coming somewhere on Homan. I'm not really sure.
He's coming to the new building, the Blanc. Is it called the Bank? Whatever they call it. It's like the bank building.
Yeah, so downtown Hammond. He's coming to downtown Hammond for what, from what McDermott said, is a $10,000 a plate fundraiser. So you have this thing going on downstate that is every one of these people is going to be on record, yes or no. It's a binary thing. You either blocked the pass or you didn't. I don't want to hear anything else. There's no yes or no. And even if you vote no, I don't want to know your reasons. You either did it or you didn't, right? And then you have McDermott coming here at 7:45. Thank you, Verley, for...
Of course.
Thank you. It's very important because McDermott is going to come in here and he's going to explain his social media post and where this is going. Little Cal has agreed to go back a little bit, and then Town of Munster, they're going to be pushed back a few minutes too. It was kind of a hard thing to get done, but we got it done, and it really kind of laid on your feet, and you made a decision, and you said fine.
But I was willing to say just give him the whole show.
Yeah,
it's
and so McDermott's going to be here, and we're going to do a little segment on that. So the drama that's playing out is playing out this morning, and while we're on the air, from what I understand, they may take a vote, but I thought that there was committee hearings all day on it, and then they were going to vote. So you could sign up to talk to them. So I tried to read the process, but you could sign up to go down there and.
So maybe that's what starts.
Yeah, that's what starts. Yeah.
Right?
So, all right. Hey, we're going to come back, and Verley and I are going to go through each legislator and just, let know which Republican legislature has some of the hardest decisions of their careers are right here today. And I only smile about it because it's just so beautiful. All right, we'll be right back on the voice and face of the Calumet region. Hey, everybody, AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM, the voice and face of the region. A lot going on this morning, and especially in terms of the roadways and the slickness of the roads. Please understand that there have been a number of slide outs, according to Paul Goddard, who talks to all these police departments, and I'll just read what he has to say. Please sign up for and like his Facebook page, Region News Source, and you'll be able to get stuff as it happens. According to Goddard, overnight, the Illinois roads are worse than in Indiana, believe it or not. Around a dozen slide-offs along I-65 and 94, but it's still better conditions than the commute to Chicago for whatever reason. Let's look at that right now. 294, which was really moving this morning, is now slow pretty much in a few stoppage points all the way up. So if you're driving up to the big airport right now, you got a little bit of brake tappers all the way up pretty much. So allow some extra time. 80 going out to Joliet. Of course, there's a There's an accident on 80 as you get closer to Joliet. So if you're sending trucks out there, it's a good day to switch over and go do US 30 once they get close. And then if you get the Bishop Ford is bad, and so is the Dan Ryan all the way up. There were some earlier slide outs and there's some earlier smaller accidents. It's slow once you turn off of, go back past Torrance, which is slow. It's slow getting on to the Bishop Ford. And then it moves at about 40, 50 miles an hour all the way up to the top of the steel bridge, and then it's red lights and a garbage dump. Then on the Dan Ryan itself, it's just awful. You could take the Skyway, but you'll still hit awful once you hit the Dan Ryan. On the Indiana side, it's pretty slow, or it is kind of slow from, say, Burr Street to the state line going westbound, but it is moving. And then I-65, honestly, is very surprisingly moving along pretty well. So is US 20, so is Indiana Toll Road. US 30, all that stuff is moving along. A few school districts that are out on a 2-hour delay. Certainly Gary and Tri Creek are leading. That's what I got in my email. If there's any others, just email me at jed@wjob1230.com. In terms of the weather, yes, it's going to get cold later in the week. Right now, it's hanging out in the low 20s here at the Strack and Van Til studios. We'll be here for another month. Then we're going home on the radio side, down the street back to our old studios, which we have always kind of intended to get back there on the radio, but we've kind of stayed here. They've taken the entrepreneurialism out of this center here and made it into a cybersecurity center, and basically everybody's gone but us, and we're next. So we're out, and this will be cybersecurity is kind of all around us in the College of Technology, so kind of change focus here. But we're fine with that. We have a great relationship with the university, and tons of people that work here come off the university. But we're going back to where we will have several podcast studios in the old building. If you've ever been there, it's 5,600 square feet of just studio space. There's 7 little studios we could ultimately convert, and we're going to do that. We run out of space all the time, and today is one of those that we've run out of space. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott's going to come in at 7:45, and he's going to talk about his post and Governor Braun coming to Hammond in downtown Hammond, right in the middle of McDermott land here, and that creates quite the standoff. But for now, we'll just wait to see what he has to say. Very cold with sun and clouds. High of 24. We'll see that at noon, and it'll taper off. Tomorrow warms up a little bit, and coating to an inch maybe again tomorrow. Breezy and chilly with low clouds. And then the drop-off kind of happens maybe Thursday afternoon, and then just a very bitterly cold 2 days, Thursday and Friday. Thursday gets down to close to 0. And then Friday, it gets basically stays steady at 21 degrees all day long. So you got some pretty cold weather coming on Thursday and Friday. Vertley Suggs is with us. Vertley, we started to talk about the redistricting that is coming up here in Indiana. The Indiana legislature went into a session, and they're going to take some comments today. But I want to go back to Mitch Daniels wrote the letter, and here's what the Indy Star said about it. And let me see it. I just got picked off by that. So he said on redistricting, somebody has to lead in climbing out of the mud hole. And Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels is calling on state lawmakers to reject President Donald Trump's push for Indiana to redistrict mid-cycle in a new column he penned for the Washington Post. The duty of these legislators is to the citizens and the future of our state, not to a national political organization or temporary occupant of the White House. Those are pretty big fighting words. Very few people have been able to stand up to Donald Trump in such a way. Does Mitch Daniels have special standing where he can say those words and still exist in this world as a Republican?
I think that Mitch Daniels will continue to exist as a man of integrity, regardless to his party. He was well respected when he was in office. He actually was elected twice, and then he was appointed to be the president of Purdue University. So there are a lot of Purdue alumni and a board that put him in position to hold that office. So he has, expressed and wanted to be president at one time. I don't know that his political aspirations are there. I think he's more now an individual who's trying to just bring clarity and bringing the Republican Party back to where they should have been. Interesting, a Democrat who was listening said when they did the redistricting, weren't the Republicans in charge at the time that they did? And we know they were. And so did they get it wrong then? Did they make a mistake when they first did this redistricting that we're using right now?
Once again, go to the Weezer podcast. He goes through that because he was part of it. Mm-hmm. He was helped drawing it as a head of the Lake County Democratic Party. And he talks about that all the Democrats and Republicans at the time, Democrats didn't get everything they wanted. Republicans didn't get everything they wanted. So that's typically a good deal when there's a little bit of dissatisfaction. So what has happened is that a new map came out yesterday, and basically you take Lake County, you go under Portage, Valpo, and Michigan City, and then you just take a swath out of central Indiana. You go past Lake Maxinkuckee, which takes about an hour and 20. That's about halfway. And then it takes it all the way to the very southwest of of Fort Wayne, kind of very close, goes into Wabash County. And right now it's 2 minutes and 49 seconds, 49 minutes to get from where I'm sitting to the center of Wabash County, not even the edge of it. So you're really talking about a 3-hour difference and just like a little bitty swath. So you could take all these basically Republican areas and put them with Lake County and kind of even it out, basically so you could get rid of Frank Mervan and get one more seat, probably Randy Niemeyer at this point. There's so much drama on this. I love it. You got Mervan.
So tell me something. You said probably Randy Niemeyer. Now, we know that Jennifer Ruth Green has a bit of baggage right now. Why do you say probably Randy Niemeyer, not probably her?
Well,
or any of the other people who are running for the position?
First of all, I think that Niemeyer has more momentum behind the scenes, and basically, I'm basing my understanding of that on a man's behavior. Okay, he announces games for us, as you know. He was on. He did a really good job of the Lowell River Forest.
I wouldn't know that, but go ahead.
Lowell River Forest overtime game.
I mean, I wouldn't know that he did a good job. I know that
he's really good basketball announcer. He played basketball. Mm-hmm. So did Frank Mervan.
That makes you a very good congressman.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the battle.
Okay.
It's the battle of the power forward.
You can announce a game. Okay.
Well, so I've seen him, and I'm like, all right, well, what's going on? And he's got a little.
Can he give an impassioned speech, talking about all the things that he has done for the region, for the people of Northwest Indiana, for the veterans, for the steel workers, for the poor, for the average everyday citizen? Can he give a speech about all of that?
That's obviously
because that's
a rhetorical
what's important
question.
to me. Not that he can announce a game.
So you also bring up a good point. And my analysis of that is basically that. When I saw him lost 60 pounds and he's all happy, and I know he's doing games for us, and I think he's a good person, and I'm liking that we would have two really good homegrown choices.
You had that last election. He lost.
But here's the deal. There's another part to this.
Been there, done that.
All right. So this is a difficult one, but as a black woman, I think you're going somewhere with this, because not only do you have a general election that this banana-shaped district would be, you have a primary. And you have a lot of people in Marshall County and in Wabash County, and I think there's some Kosciuszko County in there. I mean, this is Trump land. I've been to Lake Maxinkuckee, where Mike Pence, his brother, has a place, and I've seen the flags going around on, Trump, it was pure Trump country. And will the swath of Indiana there vote for a black woman Republican in the primary? And that's part of the issue. And that may be part of the design, to make sure it's not just to win the election, it's to make sure that you get you get somebody in there. I mean, the whole thing is kind of, I'm with Mitch Daniels. I'm like, come on, people. This is really pushing the limits. I am all for, if you're in charge. Too bad, so sad. You get to make the rules. Do you get to bend the rules like this? As Mitch Daniels says, your responsibility is to the citizens of Indiana, not to a temporary occupant of the White House.
So let me ask you this, because, of course, that is a thought. But that area, that swatch of Indiana that they want to put into the 1st Congressional District, has never been a fan of the region at all. So who's to say that somebody from down there or around the other side of there doesn't decide that, hey, why would we put someone from the region in there when we have our own candidate? Who's to say that it would even be Randy Niemeyer that would be the chosen one?
You are very correct on that. In other words, we could have a congressperson from 3 hours away.
Randy Niemeyer had a better chance of being a congressman with the congressional district map as it is than he will ever have if it changes.
You think that he could not win that district in a primary, that somebody will emerge from this farm country that is just taking on? So really what you're saying is does the plurality of Lake County in a primary, so if you ran Jennifer Ruth Green, a black woman from Gary, and you ran...
She's not from Gary.
Maryville?
That I know of.
Yeah, I don't know where
she lives in Crown Point, but I don't know where she's of.
Yeah, all right. So somehow she's come back because she was in Indy for a long time. Now she's come back to do it again. Now, if you really want to
think... she got fired from that position, too.
So we'll get in, but if you really wanted to get conspiratorial about it, right? So why is she coming back to run again? I mean, nobody even knows who she is, right?
Or cares.
But listen,
maybe the people at Brothers Restaurant.
She could. I hadn't even thought about this, but she could theoretically, if it was Niemeyer and Jennifer Ruth Green, she could take Republican votes from Niemeyer. And then that would open up the possibility of somebody in central Indiana 2.5 hours away from being our congressman. That's so beautiful. That is just so,
There's so many ways that this can come back to bite the Republican Party that I'm just going to sprinkle some salt on it.
So Braun's coming today to go to downtown Hammond. What do you think that statement is?
Well, he came last month to go to Gary.
Why?
So he's been coming in the region, basically a few reasons. He wants to, the people who have invited him and who are sponsoring this want to kind of rub it in McDermott's face that they know the rumors out there that McDermott may possibly run for governor. So we're going to show you that we can come right into your own city, have a $10,000 a ticket event, and snub it, and shove it right in your face. A development that you brought about into your city, and we're going to show you we can go there and do it up.
So I agree with you, but that also shows an acknowledgement of McDermott's possibility and, quite frankly, just a little bit of fear.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you're afraid.
That's why.
Because,
Why would you not go into his city if you want to run for office and you know he's going to run for office, possibly?
So if you really think it through,
But how many of the people there? Who are the people that are going to be there tonight? That's the thing.
Should I go stand outside?
Do just like the feds used to do when the mob was gathering at a funeral. Be out there with the cameras.
Well, here's the thing. You're right, because I keep talking about, because I have relatives that fall into this, and they live in all corners of the state. And it is, they're like, all right, well, we're Republicans, we'll vote for Trump, and we're MAGA, but not really. They're like, man, this is like my cousin, she's wealthy, and she's like, this just reminds me of the loudmouth at a country club that everybody hates, and you just don't want to get stuck with him in your foursome or at a table with them, and it's just kind of I tolerate it, but I mean, I don't know, how much can I take, right? There's a bunch of people in Indiana that fall into that category, and if Braun runs again, and he's Donald Trump's lackey for better or worse, then can a guy like McDermott go in and grab some of those people in the middle? And I would be, I haven't really ever thought about it.
That would be a little iffy, because if McDermott comes across like a Donald Trump, then it could possibly hurt him. But if he speaks up against all the things that he sees that are wrong, it can help him. If there are people who are like caught in the middle, they don't like what's happening, and if they can see him as an alternative to that, if they can see Braun as, mealy mouth, following lockstep in the Trump, because Trump's 30% approval rating?
That's what I mean. It's like less than 1/3.
This is the perfect time to go against somebody who is a follower.
As a Democrat, certainly, but also as a Republican. Here's the real drama in the next couple of days, which is kind of cool. All right, let's talk about some of these people.
All right. Do we have callers waiting?
Yeah, but just relax. I need you to go through this.
And Adrian is waiting for you to just switch seats with him.
I can't yet. I'll do it at a break. All right, so the Indy Star analyzed every Republican, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, God, how would I get all this information? Nope, they did it. Okay, so there's certainly a bunch that are completely supporting redistricting, but I noticed that none of them that they listed as completely supporting redistricting are from around here. And then they're saying, who appears to be on the fence? Julie Altoff out of Crown Point, she told the Chicago Tribune that redistricting would, quote, require taking a number of things into consideration.
And she already has a person on the Democratic side, Nick, what is this guy's name, who is planning on running as a Democrat against her.
Okay, so she's got a...
So she's already got a... Because that's been a position that was Democrat, then it was Republican, then it was Democrat, then it was Republican. So her district has shifted each time.
So that's why this is such a beautiful moment, because she's got to make up her mind, and she's either got to be yes for Donald Trump or no for Donald Trump, and that's what this is. All right, so there's another one. Here it is. Mike Aylesworth, who has usually gone lockstep with the people downstate out of Hebron. He says this: I don't think it's necessary, but we'll wait to see what the caucus said. I'm hesitant to change things, but we'll see what leadership says, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, another non-committal is Ed Soliday. He told the Chicago Tribune that the legislature would have to consider the effects of redistricting, both short and long term. It's three people that are kind of Charlie Browning it, and probably that's the best way to do. And there's a number of representatives. These are just the representatives. We haven't talked about any of the
Right.
Senate people who haven't said anything publicly. And there is one resounding silence right here, and that is from Hal Slager out of Cherville. And according to the Indy Star, he hasn't said anything. Right?
And the thing about Hal, because, all right, so Hal's one of these guys, he kind of rests on his laurels. So the one time that he actually lost the election, because he took for granted that he thought, hey, I'm the guy. I don't really have to campaign too hard because I got this. Well, he ended up losing it. Now he got it back. So he's going to really weigh it because the Democrats in Cherville are strong. They had a huge fundraiser where Frank Mervan was the Democrat of the Year. So he's got to walk that tightrope in Cherville based on the fact that Cherville's it's Democrat and Republican, and Democrats are strong there.
I got a texter that's telling me that Slager had his district changed a little bit to make it a little easier for him. But I don't know if that's true. So you got Hal Slager out of Cherville. What's he going to do? He hasn't said anything, right? You have taken the Charlie Brown route of, well, what about this? What about that? Is Julie Altoff out of Crown Point.
And that's Nicholas Neal, who's already putting his hat in the ring as a Democrat to run against Julie.
Yeah, and then you got Mike Aylesworth out of Hebron. He's pretty safe, but he says he's just going to do what basically the leadership tells him. And then you got Ed Soliday, who says, we just have to consider the effects short and long term. Now, Soliday's, a little longer in the tooth. He might have a little bit more independence to do whatever the hell he wants. So if he wants, he could go either way. See, these folks right now are in very difficult positions. And they're all really good people.
They're not in difficult positions. All they have to do is follow their conscience. All they have to do is do what the people elected them to do. It's not a tough position. You do what's right. Is it ever tough to do what's right?
Okay, well, analyze that. What's right? Okay,
right?
What's
right is to follow the rules that they had set in place.
Is it like Mitch Daniels says, the duty of our elected officials is, quote, to the citizens and future of our state, not to a temporary occupant of the White House.
That's what's right.
Okay.
Exactly. They want to change the rules. So here's the thing. Most people have no problem with ICE coming in and just breaking up families and grabbing people from churches and off the street because they didn't follow the rules. But now when a group wants to change the rules to suit them, then, that's okay. Like, make up your mind.
You're applying logic where, it has gone out the window a long time ago. It's pure power. It's pure power, and that's why it's so beautiful to watch. And, here we go with Pullen was here yesterday, and you're here today. You really do deeply care, and I get that. And, about Democratic side being treated fairly and having a shot and so forth. But just from a pure observation and drama and entertainment and historical context, we are at a point that in my mind, something big is going to happen. This, for these people, I think is going to help define their careers.
So let's talk about our senator here in Highland. Do we have callers, Jim?
Yeah, let's take a short break.
Okay.
And Adriana's boring a hole in the back of my head about get the hell out of the seat. Yep. And I'm going to come out there with you, and then we'll do one more segment, and then I'm going to have Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott to talk about a lot of this stuff, but mainly about Braun coming into downtown Hammond tonight for what McDermott says is a $10,000 a plate fundraiser. It's getting really good out, and let's enjoy it together. Be right back on the voice and face of the region. AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. I'll do the traffic and then I'll switch over to a headset, okay? It'll be blue number 3. Hey, my name's Jim Dedelow, host of Jed in the Region. My is Jim Dedelow Show. Today it is Verley.
You changed your name.
Yeah, Verley and Jed. But we got to go through this. It's really slick out. If you haven't been out yet,
we do have an update on accident that happened.
Where?
Let's see. 2 crashes at the Steel Bridge on the Bishop Ford. Crash on 394 before the merge to 80, and crash at Torrance before the Bishop Ford.
The Bishop Ford has been slipped all morning.
Yeah,
Where did your mic go?
Yeah, turn her back on. I turned them all off.
Okay.
There you go. All right,
Yeah,
go
the
ahead.
Bishop Ford has been slick all morning in the Steel Bridge. I don't know if they're putting enough salt out. Right at that border coming into Indiana, right by Torrance. Just slick from the Bishop Ford all the way through.
So 294 around the city. If you want to go up to the big airport, it's a problem. It's bad from mostly closer to the O'Hare. 80 going out to Joliet's not too bad, but once you get there, it's bad. It's stopped. The Bishop Ford is slick all the way up and has that problem on top of the steel bridge. And I was talking about that earlier. Like, man, you get on that steel bridge, and if it's slowed and slick and up there, it's really dangerous. I'd say that's one of the more dangerous areas in the region or in the commute to Chicago. And then, of course, the Dan Ryan is stop and go all the way up. You got a long commute if you're going to Chicago right now. If you're close to the Indiana Toll Road, you could do that and go up the Skyway. That's pretty clear all the way up, but you will hit a Dan Ryan that is not clear. I-65, and there are very slick spots on the Borman, and you have some peel outs, and what Adriana said about some of those accidents, but surprisingly, I-65 is moving along pretty well.
That's good to know. I have to go to a meeting when I leave here, so I was going to ask you about 65.
All right, go ahead with some traffic.
Weather.
Weather.
And they are salting the parking lot right now, so that's good.
Yeah. So currently right now at the Sacramento studios, it is 23 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of just 2 more degrees of 25 and lows of 19. A flurry early this morning, otherwise very cold with clouds and sun. There can be slippery conditions for the morning commute following the overnight snow that we had. And then on Wednesday, we are seeing highs of 32 degrees, lows of 8 degrees, mostly cloudy, breezy, and chilly. Little afternoon snow accumulating a coating to an inch. Watch for slippery spots. And then on Thursday, we hit very low temperatures with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 4 degrees. Mostly sunny and bitter cold.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. 219-845-1100. Just want to set up what we have been talking about. It's a very kind of historical day down in our state house. They came out with a map yesterday that is the new congressional map that everybody will be considering, and it takes Lake County, and then it takes it all the way under Portage and Valpo and Michigan City, and then it carries it all the way across Lake Maxinkuckee, and then goes another hour and something, an hour and a half, even further southeast, all the way to almost to the south, near the southern end of the Fort Wayne metro area to Wabash County. It is just a straight swath from Lake County and kind of curves through some of the most Republican areas. Also, in Indianapolis, they moved Andre Carson and gave the district he normally represents, they cut him out of it, and I was wondering how they were going to go after it.
I told you they were going after him.
And it is what it is, but these local Indiana people, and especially our region Republicans, from what we see, the representatives, we'll talk about the senators on Thursday, but they have remained non-committal. We will follow what Aylesworth and the Althoff and Slager, how they vote on that. We'll have that for tomorrow if they vote today.
Well, today they have the hearing from 8 a.m. until 1:45 p.m.
So maybe they vote in the afternoon.
They reconvene at 2 p.m., so we'll see.
We'll see, and then Dabberton will have that coverage. And what do you guys think? What do you think? Is this okay? I mean, it's like, hey, we're in power. We're going to do what we want. Or is this going against what we are as Hoosiers? Your call, 219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air.
know something you two forgot is if McDermott would have stayed a Republican, hands down, he would have beat, Coke plant. McDermott would have beat Todd Young and then guaranteed governor and a chance for president.
No, he wouldn't.
I had McDermott on
he would not have beat Todd
time.
Young, and he might not have beat Dwayne Dedelow if he had stayed a Republican.
I think I love Dwayne, but I think his time was up. I live here, Burley, okay?
Let me tell you something, MX. Whether you live in Hammond or not does not mean that other people cannot have a perspective.
Burley.
So share your thoughts, and I'll share mine.
Okay. But you know what? I think the Bio Green thing got him. I think the firemen got him. And I was a big supporter of Dwayne. But if he managed, what I'm trying to tell you, if he managed to beat McDermott as a Republican, he would probably be governor right now going for president. And I'm glad that you buried the hatchet about, you're just a peant and what he said about your husband.
What do you mean I buried the hatchet?
Well,
Who buried the hatchet?
Because I love when McDermott used to pick on me. I just loved it.
Okay.
And, now we're friends.
Okay.
We have breakfast together. But I do want to say some things, because there's a lot of crickets around. I know every day Trump. Oh, by the way, Burley, you got a Christmas present, and Jed got one, but I didn't spend no money on your Christmas present, but Jed I spent a lot of money on. But crickets, to what is happening in the economy, 11.8 billion people spent on Black Friday, and also gas prices are down to $2.39.
Where?
Kennedy Avenue in Highland.
I'm going there. Well, I just paid $2.55 yesterday.
Both you never say one good thing about Trump. I've never heard you say one good thing about Trump. I praise McDermott for Cabela's. I love the Cabela's. I'm an outdoorsman. And you too.
All right. We went through this. Hey guys, keep it to the topics, okay? And I'm very good at taking criticism. I took a bunch of it yesterday, but we got something going here, and I want to talk about.
I sure wish I had been here yesterday to defend you.
No, you just got to listen to it. But I think
I don't have to listen to it. There's no way.
Here's what happens, and I don't get why. I mean, I was trying to figure out when the guy called in and just ripped on me.
Aggressive, and he couldn't even answer your question.
The answer is very simple. How does it make you feel to spit out that kind of venom? And I don't.
Exactly.
And everybody goes to why people are spitting it out. Okay, that's fine. I want to know how it makes you feel. Now, that was just it was a very telling point there. It's I don't think people know how it makes them feel. They're just doing it.
It's just rage bait. They just love to rage, and they don't have any reason behind it. But let's go right back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
I think more importantly about this redistricting, I think there's larger issues at hand that determine elections. And I got one question, and I know that all these politicians in Washington do it, but why is Frank Mervan taking AIPAC money?
I can't even come. You can tell your opinion on something. I know nothing about it, and I don't know where he takes money or doesn't take money. So, what is your point?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, then say it.
About redistricting. Everybody talks about redistricting, and I think there's larger issues at hand other than redistricting.
Okay, but you're just throwing something out that's like all these wishy-washy Republicans right now because they have to be that way. If you got a point, make it.
Yeah, I truly believe that our politicians should be not be taking AIPAC money.
Okay, there you go.
And that's your point.
Yeah, that was a good point.
Yeah,
thank you for doing that.
And AIPAC is Frank Mervan's largest contributor.
Okay, well, I don't know that to be true, but if you have
Look it
an
up.
opinion
Yeah.
on it, no, you have an opinion
Yeah.
on it. I appreciate you stating it directly instead of us going through this rigmarole of just kind of throwing it out there, or just it seems to be the going way of just criticizing me when it doesn't go somebody's way. You're very direct.
not
I don't like
criticizing you.
that Frank Mervan does
not.
X. That's beautiful. Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
219-845-1100. Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Burley. Hi, Jed.
Good morning. How are you doing, Dad?
Jed, you mentioned I mentioned last week why I think these North County Republicans are wishy-washy, and I told you if North County Republicans, as in Lake County and Porter County and Newton County, if they stay with local politics, there's not much daylight between Republicans and Democrats. So when you interject national politics is when they pucker up, okay? And I think that's where they're at now. And if I had anything to do with the Democratic Party, I would be screaming from the rooftops right now, equally with redistricting, SB1. Because everyone, we all think in 2-year electoral increments, right? 2 and 4. When SB1 kicks in and all these rural hospitals in the middle of these cornfields and bean fields and these immediate cares start closing, what do you think's going to happen?
You're predicting the future. It's no good. It's no good. I think that you're predicting something where people don't really care. They're like,
until it happens.
Yeah, it's like this is what I support. I support SB1 and the entire MAGA energy. And too bad. Oh well, we got to close a hospital. You're projecting what you would like them to feel, but I don't think they do.
No, it's fear. It's not any. The last thing I wanted is an immediate care or a hospital close. I'm thinking this is a possibility. I haven't said it, right?
Just said it.
I have not researched. Well, yes, I did say it because it's a real fear that I have. I have a lot of friends and family in rural areas in Newton County and Jasper County, and there's not much there. In let alone what's going to happen to our schools. And this is where people live with their head in the sand, right? And Jed, you say they don't care.
They don't care.
They live with their head in the sand. Well, and it could very well be.
You're projecting what you think should work for your angle, and it doesn't mean anything to me. It means zero, because if you're sitting in central Indiana and you're strictly a Donald Trump MAGA person, you'll do whatever you're told. And you're projecting, maybe they'll get upset that they can't go get it for appendicitis down the road. No.
That's not happening up here, though, is it?
No,
you
it's
said
not.
that your words were all the Republicans are wishy-washy.
Right now, the ones that are here, listed here, have not come forward with how they're going to support this today. But you're doing the typical Democrat thing of projecting, these people are going to get mad about this or mad about that. No, you have no evidence for that.
It's going to affect everyone. It's going to affect Democrats and Republicans, not just Republicans. It's going to affect everyone, and I don't know why. Tom Dapperton he hit it a little bit, SB1. It is so complicated, but it could be so devastating to not just Hammond and East Chicago and Gary and Northwest Indiana, the entire state. I wish people would get more. Don't listen to what I have to say. Go investigate yourself. If you have this is not even ideology. It's going to affect every single one of us.
Okay, thanks for the phone call. I'm going to ask that to you.
So it doesn't affect you until it affects you. Okay, it's the same thing with the government shutdown. It's the same thing with SNAP benefits. Now Illinois is going to make SNAP beneficiaries work for those SNAP benefits. So these are the same people then all these elections that I have worked on over these past 20 years or so, doors that I knocked on that people said, I don't vote. It doesn't affect me. These are the people now that are seeing the effect, or will see, as Dave brought up, the effect of not only not voting or voting for the wrong person. Okay? So I'm like, you're going to see the effect. If people keep protecting people from feeling the effect, then they will never wake up and realize how important their vote is. So if you vote for Donald Trump, now you will see the outcome. Yeah, gas is $2.50 a gallon, but can you buy groceries? So yeah, you might not have a car to put gas in. Do you have public transportation to get to work? I pass the South Shore every day, multiple times a day. So there are different needs that different people have. Until they see the effect of not having their needs met, they don't realize the value of their vote.
So really what you and Dave are doing is obviously, projecting that some of the things that are going on in the state of Indiana and nationally will affect people and sway them in a certain way. And I agree that that's a possibility, especially here in Indiana. I think that this vote here is very important in defining these folks, because you're right. Julie Altoff is in a middling district. Hal Slager's in a middling district. Soliday probably doesn't care anymore. But you have four people that we got to watch and see how they vote today. But Altoff's going to have a really difficult time because she's going to have to weigh that. Like, what's next? Okay, you and Dave are both saying, well, what's next? One of the possibilities is that you could have dissatisfaction when SB comes in, and their kids are going to school, and there's 32 people in the classroom, and you call the 911, and nobody gets there for like 10 minutes because you couldn't pay for more police. I mean, those are real effects, and they could possibly, that center part of Indiana, which are like all of my relatives and all around the state, that's what's at play here. It's the Mitch Daniels Republicans that are at play here. And if all they have on the Republican side is kind of the Braun MAGA thing, there is a path for a Democrat like McDermott, who's coming in here in 5 minutes. And I understand that, but to project that people are going to, they're going to see SB1 and they're going to all of a sudden change their mind.
If you're Tom McDermott, you want it all to fall apart so you can come in with your cape and be the hero.
And I told that to Weezer the other day on his podcast. I go, really, technically, if you're a Democrat, you kind of want them to do this. But then, you know what his answer was? And I keep playing it on the air. His answer was, but then we're stuck with a really bad district for years to come. And I'm
not wanting the redistricting, period, okay? But I'm talking about all these other laws and rules that are coming into play. I am not in favor of this redistricting because I think it's totally wrong. And it's a violation of what's right. So in that case, I'm a staunch opponent to this redistricting. But as far as the Senate bills and all these things that Ron is doing and, health care being changed and all that, people will see. And unless it happens, they will not feel it. And that's the sad part, that sometimes you have to feel a little pain to realize that you have a wound that needs to be treated.
Jeez, Burley Suggs, this is beautiful. This is, literally national issue. President Trump wants it, and you have pressure today on Julie Altoff, Mike Aylesworth, Ed Soliday, and Hal Slager.
And you are going to have pressure on the senators as well.
Yeah.
Senator Dedelow right here in Highland. And the whole thing with the swatting. Now, that goes back and forth. Oh, the Democrats did it. Like, the Democrats have no reason for wanting to do it. Republicans have shown that when someone does not vote their way, Donald Trump is the most vindictive person that's ever held office. And if they can't see that, then they are totally blind. So when you call 911, the first thing that pops up is your caller ID with your name, your address. They verify that with you. How does somebody call for police to go to a house and it not pop up who is there, whose house it is they're calling to go to, but also who's making the phone call? So the fact that this happened should be documented. Who did it? And why hasn't that come out?
We'll talk about it on Thursday. I'll be here. Verly won't. Verly, thank
I'll see you next Tuesday. And then what they said, we'll be back the end of the month with Michelle, Adriana, and myself.
People asking me, where is
We'll
that?
be back.
All right, guys. Stay tuned. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott up next on the Voice and Face of the Region.
Yeah.
AM 1230, WJOB 104.7 FM. Traffic everywhere, folks. It's slick outside. They're salting the parking lot right here. Otherwise, it's just a tough walk across the parking lot. All right, let me do it. 294 around the city, bad all the way, especially close to O'Hare. Allow a good 15, 20 minutes at least to go to the big airport. 80 going east and west looks pretty good. The Bishop Ford and the Dan Ryan have been awful. Even to get on the to the Bishop Ford, it's bad from the state line to the split where you get on the Bishop Ford, and then it's bad all the way up, and then it's bad all the way up to Dan Ryan. I think it's over an hour right now if you're going to go up that way. Go to the Skyway if you can. Go across Hammond, go across Gary, go across Hobart and all that, and get on the Indiana Toll Road and take the Skyway up. The Borman is bad, is slow westbound. You'll get down to 45, 50 miles an hour, but it is moving now. I-65 is moving also. If you got any major accidents, go to Paul Goddard's Region News Source on Facebook and like his page, and you'll get updated on it. With the weather, Adriana Alvarez.
Currently, right now, at the Sacramento studios, it is 23 degrees. Today, we're seeing highs of 25, lows of 19. We had some flurries earlier this morning, but otherwise today, we're going to see very cold weather with some cloud and sun with slippery conditions. On Wednesday, highs of 32, lows of 6 degrees, mostly cloudy, breezy, a snow shower in the afternoon. Watch for slippery spots. Then Thursday, we get to those really, really cold temperatures with a high of 15 degrees and a low of 4 degrees, mostly sunny and bitter cold.
And Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott is here. Mayor, how are you?
Morning, Jim.
And this is being recorded on Tuesday, December 2nd, when a whole bunch of stuff is happening, and we're going to go through it.
I wore a suit for you.
What is wrong? What do you got? You got a funeral this morning, or what?
I do have. I'm actually meeting with the governor later today, so I got to wear a suit.
You're meeting with the governor?
He's forced to wear a suit.
Well, I mean, I'm representing my city, 80,000 people. I want to look nice. I'm not going to go in there with like loafers
All right,
on.
so what are you meeting about? Or is this something?
I imagine it was about what happened over the weekend. I imagine.
All right. Well,
you're like, what? Yes, the governor is definitely coming to Hammond today, for the record.
I'm going to read your post.
Sure.
One of them. Governor Braun is making his first appearance in Hammond to visit the bank, a housing development my administration delivered for downtown Hammond. But unless you got $10,000 to spare, don't expect to get in. This isn't a public visit. It's a closed-door fundraiser for wealthy donors. Meanwhile, the families who live in Hammond and made the city strong are left outside. You have a picture of the invitation. Why'd you write that?
Well, I wrote it on, so I got a heads up on Saturday morning that the governor was coming to Hammond, and I wasn't fired up or anything. I was just like, oh, okay. Where's he going? And they said, the bank. And I'm like, okay, that's good. At least he's going to see something nice that we built under my administration. You know, Governor Holcomb was the governor in charge when we built that, by the way. So if anybody should be visiting, it should be the last governor. All due respect to the current governor. But I was like, oh, cool. Okay, that's nice. And then I was thinking to myself, I think this is the first time the governor's coming to Hammond. It's cool that he's going to see that, and he's going to see me by Lynn's. I think that's cool. 2 great projects. The governor's coming to our city. It's going to be good, right? And then I get a call a little bit later in the day. And, I mean, I was a little bit rubbed raw because I've tried multiple times to meet with this guy, and he wants nothing to do with me, which is fine. I understand. I'm on the wrong team. He doesn't want to talk to me. Even though I represent 80,000 people, he doesn't want to talk to me because I'm a Democrat. So I'm like, fine. You know, the governor's coming to Hammond. He's not going to meet with the mayor. No big deal, right? And then later on that day, somebody calls me up and says, can you believe they're charging me $10,000 to go to this thing? And I'm like, why are you going to this thing? I was a little pissed. I'm like, what? Like, you're going to this thing? Somebody I consider one of my supporters. And I'm like, why the hell? Like, this guy's screwing with me constantly. Why are you going to this thing? He's like, you know, it's good for business. I'm just trying to, like, play the game. And I'm like, oh, he's going to be really nice. He's going to be really happy that you donated $10,000 to him. And I tell you, it was... That was shortly before the Notre Dame game Saturday night. And I was just fired up, Jim. I'm just like, you got to be the guy's coming to town. He's got a $10,000 fundraiser. That's the reason he's coming to Hammond. I was just salty, so I posted that first post. Okay? And it didn't get that much traction. I mean, you can do analytics on Facebook. It was seen, I fibbed. I said it was seen by 50,000 people. It was seen by like 25,000 people, the first post. Okay? So relatively limited universe of people that saw the first post. Okay. And then the next day I posted it again. No, what happened was the next day I get a phone call from my chief of staff, Scott. He's like, Mayor, my phone's getting blown up from the governor's office from people holding this event. They're pissed. I'm like, I imagine, you know, he says, they think they're going to be a protest out in front of there because you posted that. And I was like, that was sort of the idea, I'll be honest with you. When I posted it, I was hoping somebody would pick it up. I'm not going to protest, but I figured that with everything going on, there'd be people interested in protesting. Sort of why I put it out there, being honest with you, Scott. And Scott's like, listen, man, the governor's not going to come to Hammond if you don't pull that down. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to make a decision by today. It's Sunday now, right? I've been pissed off all night, okay? It was like sort of ruined the Notre Dame game for me. And then he's like, if you don't pull it down by 4 o'clock, the governor's not coming. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. My stupid Facebook post? I'm getting asked to pull it down? He's like, yeah, you're getting asked to pull it down. And I'm like, I'm not doing that, Scott. No way. I've never pulled down a Facebook post. I'm not starting now, right? And I was like, it was only seen by like 25,000 people. Like, that's not even 1/4 of the city of Hammond, approximately 1/4 of the city of Hammond. So I was just sitting there and I was stewing after I hung up with him, and I'm just like, I'm going to go full transparency here. And I put the whole thing in my second post. Now, my second post went viral.
Can I read this?
Sure.
Apparently, my Facebook post about Governor Braun's fancy $10,000 per head fundraiser in downtown Hammond has now become, quote, a security concern. I've been asked to take it down so that Hoosiers don't know about the event, and so the governor and his donors can drink and dine in peace without the inconvenience of the public being present. As a believer in the First Amendment, I found that request offensive. There was nothing untrue in my original post, nothing threatening, nothing to be ashamed of. Simply stated the truth. Governor Braun is holding a swanky closed-door fundraiser in downtown Hammond. The First Amendment still works in Hammond. See you all Tuesday at 5231 Holman Avenue. Drinks start at 5:30 p.m. I'm not sure you could have come up with a post that is more not just against what the governor wanted.
Well, I mean, so the purpose of the first post was to notify the public. Purpose of the second post was to notify the public. I'm being asked to pull this down. It's a security concern because I posted that the governor's coming to Hammond. And I was amazed about the whole thing. I'm like, I've never been asked by anybody in politics to ever pull down a Facebook post because it's offensive. I could get it if it was threatening. It wasn't. So, but the funny thing about it is, if they would have just shut up and let the first post go, there's literally, it was not viral. It was 20 to 25,000 people that saw it. Second post, Jim, went viral. And I checked last night, it was 175,000 people that interacted with that post. So it's almost like a lesson in politics for the governor is, people are going to take swings at you. And I think the best thing to do, I've tried to do this for years. I try my best is act like if I hear something on WJOB I don't like, I act like I didn't hear it. It's the best thing you could do. And then people are like, did you hear WJOB? And I'm like, nope, didn't hear it, but I'd heard it. So like the best thing you could do in a situation like that is to ignore the first post. If they would have ignored the first post, hardly anybody would have known about it. But now everybody knows about it. I mean, I have a feeling there's going to be a big crowd there, even though it's really cold.
So why do you think Braun is coming to your home field?
To raise money, apparently. I mean, I don't know how many, at $10,000 a head, if you get 10 people in there, you make $100,000 just for a trip to Hammond. I mean, it's pretty solid. He's got $100,000 in that, $1 million. I heard over $900,000 in that account. So if he puts another $100,000 in from Hammond, he tops $1 million.
But why Hammond?
Well, I think it's convenient for him also. First off, we are doing a lot of work here. I mean, Meet by Lens. He's visiting Meet by Lens today. Meet by Lens is an amazing project that we pulled into the city of Hammond. It's an Illinois company that moved over here. It sort of fits in with the whole theme, right? And this new development downtown Hammond, the Bonk, is right next to the South Shore Line, which is funded a lot by the state of Indiana, local as well as the federal government. So it sort of fits in with both of the major projects going on in Indiana. We're trying to lure Illinois companies over, so he's visiting one of those, and we're trying to build up around the new South Shore expansion. So I think it's convenient for the governor to visit those two spots.
So you've said these things on Facebook. I got to go further here.
Sure.
This is my Christmas ornament for Governor Mike Braun, who took great offense, blah, blah, blah. Who's the snowflake now, Governor?
That was a little probably over the top. Yeah, being honest. The whole thing, I've been called a snowflake for the entire Trump term. Because I'm a Democrat, we're snowflakes. It's like, who's being a snowflake now? I got a thick skin at least. I've been around politics a long time. I know when to take a punch and to shut up about it, right? It's like, come on, Governor. You're telling me to pull down my Facebook post? So I posted that. It was funny. It was generated by AI.
All right, so all of this
it was good-natured ribbing. ribbing of the governor.
Is it good natured?
It is. I'm not like I don't despise the man. I don't. I want to work with him. I'm the mayor of one of the largest cities in Indiana. I don't want to like alienate the governor. Believe me. But this did rub me wrong. I think honestly, when the governor comes in Hammond for the first time, she have the courtesy of like reaching out to the mayor. I really do. That's really where this all came from. Is like, listen, I've been trying to meet with you for months, and I've been getting like the cold shoulder each time. Now you're coming to Hammond, going to a swanky closed door event. It rubbed me the wrong way.
So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I read it. Is that he could do this anywhere.
Yeah,
and he wants to do it in not just in your hometown, but downtown Hammond, which is and in the bank project is something that you guys have been very involved in.
Yeah.
And he just basically came in and said, "So do you? I mean, you certainly reacted and honestly took the bait. Do you think that was
Did I?
There's I don't know. I don't have a judgment on that, but you reacted in a way maybe they didn't expect. But all this goes on. Now you're meeting with him today.
Yeah.
Where?
At Meet by Lynn's.
So you're going to talk to him at Meet by Lynn's. And if you guys don't know where that is, I think that's Hoffman.
Yeah.
And it's a massive building, and it used to be in like kind of some basement in Cal City.
Right.
And they just moved across and built one of the biggest cutting floors of a private company in the world.
They're already too big for their location.
Yeah, from what I understand.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's a very good development, especially for that part of Hammond. And a governor's going to come see that, and then he's going to go to his private event.
Yeah.
So this got national attention.
Did it?
And you're talking hundreds of thousands of people, right?
It was picked up by a couple media outlets.
Yeah, by a couple media outlets. Right. And so it comes at a time when there is kind of a historic thing happening separate from this. So I don't know. I mean, I can't even put it in my head, where the strategies would be. But they came out yesterday that the legislature is meeting. If you're listening later, which you probably will, you'll understand that all of these things have already been decided by then. But right now we're in the middle of a decision over whether to redistrict Indiana at President Trump's request to build kind of the weirdest looking congressional district. It would go from Lake County all the way down to Wabash County at just like a little strip.
Like a salamander.
Yeah, maybe it is like a salamander, and it would be 2 hours and 52 minutes to leave right here and go to Wabash, and then it would go over Lake Maxinkuckee and Culver and all that stuff. But it would completely change the politics. I think Julie Altoff, Aylesworth, and Slager, they all got to make a decision today, and we'll see what they make. But
I don't think the House is the problem. The problem's the Senate.
The Senate is the problem, right? So, but everybody's going to have to be a Y or an N, and we'll see what the local Republicans do.
What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to pass this ultimately?
Jim Weezer sat right there in your spot, and I asked him that question, and he said, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to look like it's not going through and everybody's going to huff and puff. But he's like, in the end, they're all going to come home and they're going to pass this.
I agree with Jim. I said it on Lockpot a long time ago, and I thought I was wrong. But I said once these people, these senators, let's be honest, it's the Indiana Senate that's the sticking point right now. Once these senators start getting blasted by Trump, by the national Republicans, by the statewide Republicans, they're gonna wilt. And if they don't, they're done. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That's just the reality of the situation. I think they're going to buckle because I've seen them buckle 99% of the time. And they're going to buckle. They're going to do what the governor and the president want, and they're going to gerrymander the heck out of our state. That's what I think. But I hope they don't, but that's what I think they're going to do. And I agree with Verley. I think that she's right when she says that they're so over the top right now that even if they gerrymander Indiana, I think we still have a good chance. I still think Frank will have a good chance to win this race because the disgust that Hoosiers are going to have. Even though Frank's district is horrifying, what they're trying to do to him is not right, okay? And Frank and I aren't exactly close allies, okay? But what they're doing to Congressman Mervan is not right. What they're doing to Congressman Carson is not right. Indiana is not a 9-0 state. Indiana is 46% in the last governor's race of people that voted for Democrats. And our congressional maps don't reflect that. And it's not right. And Hoosiers are going to be disgusted by this, and they're going to vote Democrat next year. And 2 years later, they're going to vote Democrat.
Mitch Daniels kind of kicked this off with a Washington Post editorial where he said elected leaders, quote, their duty is to the citizens and future of our state, not to a temporary occupant of the White House.
He's one of the smartest politicians I've ever met, Mitch Daniels. We fought like crazy. I was mayor then also, but he was a great governor. I think we can all look back on his time and realize that he did a lot of good for Indiana. And I don't agree with everything he did, like the toll road, for instance. I don't agree with that. Okay, I still don't agree with that. But I think most people realize that Mitch Daniels was a good person trying to do the right thing. And quite frankly, what he did at Purdue is amazing. I think he was one of the most monumental presidents Purdue's probably ever had. So
he had to sign off on me coming into this building 10 years ago, and surprisingly he did. But we are on the campus of Purdue Northwest. So let's put it all in perspective. People listening, and we'll clip this up and put it on Facebook, and they'll go like, is that the Democrat that's going to go after Braun? Because people, that's what's out there, that you see an opening to become the governor of the state of Indiana. I'm not asking you to announce anything,
I know.
but let's just look at it. If it's not you, is there a path for a Democrat to become the next governor? Certainly Braun's going to run again, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, let's say he runs again.
Okay, if he runs again, I think we have a good chance of beating him. Yes.
Explain.
I think that Governor Braun's popularity is one of the lowest I've ever seen. I think the weakest governor I've ever seen in Indiana was Mike Pence. Okay, I think if Mike Pence wasn't saved by Donald Trump, Indiana has a real good chance of going blue in 2016. Okay, Mike Pence got saved. His career got resurrected. He went off to Washington, D.C., and that didn't work out too well for him. But he did spend 4 years as vice president. Okay, I think that the thing that Mike Pence had going for him that Mike Braun does not right now is the fact that at least the Republican mayors and the Republican elected officials across Indiana supported Governor Pence for the most part. I think what Governor Braun has done with SB 1 was alienated every government, Republican and Democratic alike. I tell you, I was at IACT, which is AIM, it's what it's called now. It's an association of Indiana municipalities. There's 1,000 elected officials at this event, Republican and Democrat, mostly Republican. His popularity was minuscule. Everybody's ticked at him right now. Cops are mad at him. Firefighters are mad at him. Mayors are mad at him. County officials are mad at him. He gutted our finances for a $300 credit that you're going to get $300 credits in your house, Jim, and you're going to end up paying an income tax that's way more than the credit you got because of what he did. And it's not popular, and I think he's in serious trouble. I don't think Governor Braun's going to run again. I really don't. I think that he's going to, after 4 years, he's going to see the writing on the wall, and he's going to go off and retire. But, if he does run again, I think that the Democrats are going to have a real good chance, unless Governor Braun reverses course on SB 1 and tries to salvage his reputation with Republican office holders. And I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm being a political commentator right now. He is not popular with Democrats. We know that. He is not popular with Republicans, office holders right now, because he gutted their budget for a made-up reason, Jim. There was no tax problem in Indiana. We're constitutionally capped at 1% of our home's value. That's an amazing deal. He comes in and says, oh, there's a tax crisis. No, there's not. It's our job to know what the crises are in Hammond. I don't have too many people coming up complaining about their 1% tax bill, Jim. So
let's just play the what-if game. And literally, I'm not going to ask you directly the question that everybody wants asked because this isn't that forum. But let's just openly speak about, let's just say that this goes through, the redistricting goes through, and Mitch Daniels says in his editorial, he goes, if we redistrict, there will be huge consequences.
Next year, the Republican supermajority will break, okay, if they do this. Next year, they will not be a supermajority. The Democratic Party will make major inroads in the supermajority next year. And then 2 years later, you're going to be licking our chops. And the Democratic primary for governor will be very, very lively. Listen, if I did want to run, I won't be the only one. because everybody sees what's going on. All these amazing Democrats we have on our bench see what's going on right now. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for. Honestly, Verley's right. She's dead right when she says that. They're messing up so bad right now, the Republican Party. They're messing up so bad, there's going to be consequences in Indiana. When I first got involved in politics, Jim, Indiana had a Democratic Speaker of the House, a Democratic governor, a Democratic senator. This state is not crimson red. This state, well, other than
didn't he go for Obama one year?
It went for Obama in 2008. It's possible to win in this state. I don't think if you're a far left candidate, you're going to have much success. But I think if you're a conservative candidate, like an Evan Bayh type of cat, you know what's going to be a big tell weather, bud?
What?
Bo Bayh. Let's watch how that goes. If Bo Bayh beats, well, let's assume Bo Bayh gets the nomination for Secretary of State. If he beats Diego, he'll be a candidate too for governor, right? But if he beats Diego, these guys are in trouble, man. These guys are in trouble because Bo Bayh is going to be well financed. I bet you he's already got a couple $1 million.
Well, you bring up a name. Diego Morales is kind of polarizing in the Republican side. And what's the other guy? He sat in his chair, and I promise.
Rokita?
No, not Rokita. The pastor.
Micah, yeah. The lieutenant governor.
Yeah, Micah Beckwith.
Yeah.
I met him. He was on here, and I met him in the hall over here, and I just started talking to him like I thought he was a Purdue guy or something. And we're talking about golf, and I'm like, I want, you live in Indy? Well, when I come down, I'll look you up and we'll play golf. Then he walks in here and he gets on the Republican show, and we have Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith, and I'm like, oh, that was him?
Yeah.
But, I mean.
He's charming. I mean,
yeah, he's very charming.
I'm not supposed to say stuff like that because I'm a Democrat, but every time I've interacted with the Lieutenant Governor, he's been very charming face-to-face. Every time. And I think, by the way, I've seen him speak a couple of times. I think he's very effective, but he's a pastor. Of course he could speak.
Can we address one other thing before
Please.
you go that doesn't have anything to do with this? Your police chief is retiring, and go through that announcement.
Yeah, Andy Short has been Hammond's police chief for 5 years now. He's a Hammond police officer, I think, for 37 years. He's retiring, and he's leaving the force in April. So we had the decision, do we want Andy to ride out the last quarter, sort of like lame duck? You know how it is when you're retiring, right? And is it, do I bring in the chief like one quarter of the way through the year, or do I just implement it now? So we didn't want to be disrespectful to the chief. So, I asked the chief if he'd consider being the chief emeritus. And he agreed that was a good move. So he's not going to be demoted from chief. He's going to be like there with Jeff for the first quarter.
And announce who that is.
Jeff Long is he's the assistant chief of police right now. He's very well known Hammond police officer. He's excellent. He's going to be. I'm excited about Jeff taking over as chief. I think he's going to be excellent.
Okay, so you say that. I saw that somebody had called him interim chief, and I was wondering, are you putting him in as chief or as interim chief?
January 1st, Jeff is going to be the chief making the calls. Andy's going to be the emeritus chief. Okay, so Andy right now is the chief of police until December 31st. But Andy will still – I'm not sure if Andy's going to change officers or anything. I think it's just going to be at that point our Hammond police officers are going to start taking the routine business straight to Jeff instead of straight to Andy. And then Andy could sort of coast out.
So what do you foresee or even hope for happening when Governor Braun comes today and you meet with him at Lynn's? And then he goes over for the reported $10,000 a plate fundraiser.
I hope the governor is impressed by a company like Meat by Lands. I hope he's impressed by the bonk, and he realizes the potential we have here in Hammond. And I'm a pro-business mayor. I brought in over $1 billion in new assessed value since I've been the mayor. So I think I'm a good person to partner with for the governor. Like, partner with me. Don't fight with me.
Wait a second.
With you.
You have hopes that you could partner with Mike Braun and work with him?
I know I can. Jim. Absolutely. I have to. It's imperative for me to get along with the governor. We have a lot going on here in Hammond. Like amazing projects that are like monumental.
Well, if Trump could get along with Mamdani.
That's right. I'm not that far out there, by the way. I mean, I think the more the governor gets to know me, the more he'll realize he probably should have returned my phone call a long time ago. And that's probably a little bit where yesterday or over the weekend came from, is I felt disrespected. I'm like, what the heck? I've been trying to meet with you for months, and now you're coming here and not meeting with me and going to a swanky fundraiser in a building I brought to the city. So there's probably a little bit of frustration in my Facebook posts over the weekend, Jim, being honest. So, and I told that to the governor's staff yesterday. I talked to his chief of staff, and I sort of apologized. But, like, I sort of apologize, but I sort of don't apologize because I've been trying to meet with you guys for a long time. And he was like, I totally understand. Let's put it behind us. Let's try to move forward. And that's why this meeting's taking place today at 4.
No, don't say when.
I didn't say when.
Yeah, he didn't say when. Hey, thank you for coming in, and thank you for clarifying.
Thanks to Burley for ceding her position so I can come in there. That was nice of her. So
you got to say thanks to the little Cal, too, because they had to go back.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but hey, thank you.
By the way, Little Cal's working on an awesome project right now on Kennedy Avenue. Awesome. I'm excited to be part of that. So.
They're going to talk about that on the next segment. Thank you so much for coming in.
Good to see you.
All right. We're going to end it right now. Dan Repe and Tom Wasilinski are going to come in, and they're going to do the Little Cal show just a little bit late. Lots happening, and we had to cover it. All right. We'll be right back on the Voice and Face of the Region.